Welcome guys to another Redstone tutorial. This is number 3 in the series, and today we're doing logic gates. So we're going to cover all the basic logic gates and go through step by step why they work and how they work. We won't go through many applications of them today. That will be in the coming episodes when we start marrying them up with all the other things we've done so far. So like including pistons in doors and that sort of thing. So first of all we have our basic input output, which you have already seen. Exactly the same as these ones. You have your input and it goes straight to the output. So we go in, nothing else happens. In, nothing else happens. There we are. Then we go to NOT gates, which you also have seen. You may not have noticed, but we have. So these are inverters basically. So what they mean, they're logic gates. So this one is basically a yes, this one is a no. So if this is on, then that is off. If this is off, then this is on. So it's a negative, that's why it's an inverter. So here, one way of doing it is just to put a 1 along, so that the pulse gets inverted here. So, if we push this one, the lamp will turn off. So that's a not. Okay? And then we go to a double inverter, which is actually just a repeater. So, your input signal at the moment is off, your output signal is off, so therefore it's just carrying on the signal. You can do this with just normal redstone repeaters, but there are other applications for this. So you could have a light coming off of here. As you can see, this will be on, and then, and we don't want to go back the other way. That's feeding back. If we had a redstone repeater going to one, then that one's on and that one's off. So this is repeating the signal twice. So it comes from here, on and then off. So now this is on, that becomes on and that becomes off. So you can do little flip-flop switches like that. So that's an application of that. Here is a vertical inverter. So same principle as the one here, but it does it so you can go up or down, mostly up. This is a very, very good application of it. I use it an awful lot. It goes towards our vertical wiring as well, because vertical wiring is probably the most painful thing to do in this. So all this is just goes in. As it hits this bit, it changes it from an off to an on, and then if we change it again, you can see it does the same as the other one, but just in a different way. So you can have this going up and up and up, and also you can have things like, if I do a little vertical wiring here, and then have a lamp on top of that, that should work. So that one's off, now it's on, so that's just a way of doing it vertically. So that's a vertical inverter, and this is a horizontal inverter, but on the vertical side compared to this one, where it's just a straight on horizontal. Okay. Next one is a AND gate. These are very simple. Basically you have two inputs, they both have to be on for the output to be on. So at the moment neither of them are on, the output is off. If we turn one of the output or inputs on, it inverts this one as we saw there. This then puts signal across, and because this one is still off here, it's inverted to be on, therefore this one is then inverted, therefore the signal is still off. So if we do the other one, same thing happens. The output is off still, and that's the way of doing it. And when they're both on, the output is on. So that's an AND gate. So things like doors to pressure pads to go to constructions. So if you want two people there, two people stand on a pressure plate each, and both of them have to be standing on it for it to work. And we'll go over here. This is a NAND gate, so it's a not AND gate, or a negative AND gate. So therefore the outputs are off, the inputs are off, output is on. And same principle as the other one, but reversed. So this one, it's on, therefore the whole thing's still on. And then if we turn this one on, it turns the output off. So that's a very simple one. and we'll go to this one next. This is an OR gate. Not that many applications, but like this anyway, but it still works. So this is an OR gate, means it's basically an either or. So you could do one, turns it on, you could do the other, turns it on, or you could do both, and it's still on anyway. So that's an OR gate. Now we're going to go to a NOR gate. So on here, off there, on here, off there. So it just changes it, but they're both on, it's still off. See, it's an either or basically, so it's saying this input could control it, or this one. There's no set thing for this, it's just a basic inverter here, same as we saw over there. This one is another way of doing, or another way of looking at this one. So this is an OR gate as well, a bit more useful in this way, so you can have a button one place to turn the light on, or a button somewhere else. And this shows you that they don't have to be connected on the same block. You can have one of these places to be at one side of the room, one of them at the other, and they can still control the same thing. So things like this you can use for doors and lighting and whatever else you want. We're going to applications next time. This is an XOR, and I've got a note here, not to be confused with NOR. A NOR is a negative OR, so it's basically the other way around. An XOR is a special case OR gate. So we'll watch what it does and I'll explain it. At the moment, we'll just look at the input and output, and then we'll look at the redstone in a sec. One input is on, output is on. The other input is on, output is on. Neither output's on, output off. Both inputs on, output off. So it works like the OR gate, where you can have one or the other. That's the OR part. But the XOR is the special case, so when both of them are on, the output is off. That's the difference. And for this, it's a little bit different redstone. I will link you to the wiki page on all these logic gates. They're not that hard to understand when you get down to it once you've seen them once, but to then put them into applications it's a lot harder, and this is why I'm explaining them to you now step by step. So here, this redstone goes to here, inverts the signal, which then powers this one on the side. This one gets inverted here from these two side ones as well. Signal then gets to here, and then it gets moved along as well. So if you see here, this one is on, therefore this one is off, therefore this one is on, therefore the output is on. And then we go both of them. So these ones are on, that one's off, therefore these are then off as well. And there you go. Now this is a different one. Now this is called a rapid pulsar. So basically, if you've ever put torches next to each other and they've made like a hissing, fuzzing sound and then gone out, this is like that, but it uses enough so that the string of events keep continuing. So if you look here, whoop, there we are. So it's pulsing, and as you can hear the fizzing, this is what you normally don't want to hear, because it means that the circuit is basically broken. And if it happens on your normal ones, then you can burn out the redstone torches. But here, it burns them out in enough time so that this keeps going. And here, I've set up with some arrows in it on a dispenser. Dispenser is going to be activated so often, so this pulsing every time only gets hit now and then. As you can see here, you can have this all sorts of applications. So you can have it, you can input this if someone gets near on a pressure plate or something, and then shoot arrows at them. The lava's just there to show you can set arrows on fire. I quite like that. So we've done that. We'll just break this because it's rather loud. There you go, stop now. Here is a XNOR gate. I really hope you're keeping up with the little names of them. They're very important. If you've ever done anything like electronics or physics or anything like that, or just maths, they come up a lot. I know I did electronics myself when I was younger. So, an XNOR gate. Now, you probably know what this is by now. The X part is the special case again. The NOR, or the N part, is the NOT gate, and the OR part is the OR. So it's the same as this one here, but it's inverted. So when they're off, output is on. When one is on, the output is off. Exactly the same as this one here, but then mirrored the other way. When they're both on, the output's on. Whereas this one, when they were both on, the output was off. So it's just basically the same, but inverted. And all we have at the end is a simple inversion signal. So the rest of it is exactly the same, and then it's inverted at the end. So we're nearly at the end of the logic gates. So here we are. These are some of the more advanced applications. This is called an RS NOR latch. So this is one input, and this is effectively the reset. So if you have this signal coming out as on, so say like for a door or water or anything you want to keep on, and you press the button, it turns it off, and the memory part of it, as it's a memory cell, and if you think of a latch, so you can either latch it on or latch it off. Once you press it, then it stays at that state. So if I keep pressing this now, it doesn't do anything. It's latched on to this one. So therefore this output's on now, and then you have to press the reset, go back to the first state. So I use this in my timers and things, and I use this in a lot of other applications. It's very, very useful if you want to keep it on until you then want it off. It's very good. Here is an RS NOR latch. No, it's an RS NAND latch. There we are. Memory cell. This is a bit more peculiar. I've never used one. So here, this is one input. Therefore, it's inverted it on that side. Then you're going to do this one. It doesn't do anything because this state's already on. If you then turn this one on, you can see that, and then it changes this one only. So basically, you're enabling it to, as you can see, that one's on. You're enabling only one selection to be working at a time. So this one can be on now, and as these signals change, that one still stays the same. So it's basically one state or the other. So don't worry if you don't understand this one. I wouldn't use it. I don't use it very often. Well, I don't use it at all. It's a little bit, it's just like a double inversion of this. Like I said, they will give you the link to the little tiny pictures in the wiki. And of course, as always, the world will be on the download with all the signs and everything else, so you can have a play with it. And here we are. Here's a clock pulsar. This is just like this rapid pulsar over here. Apart from the rapid pulsar is more rapid. So we try and put a piston on it. Try and make it upwards. And we do this. That's rapid. So if you compare that to what we can get on the other one, now that's rapid. If you come over here, we have this. So I put this connected. So basically, it's a 5 clock pulsar. So that's what it stands for, 5 tick basically. So every 5 game ticks, 5 game ticks. This one will change color. So it starts off being off, and then every 5 ticks, it will turn on. And when you do turn the thing on, it will be on for more than 1 tick. So that's why it's not just flashing now and then. Here, you can make the clocks bigger. So you can have 50 of them or anything like that, or you can have a timer in between them to make them pulses even longer. So say if we have a redstone repeater here, it stays on for slightly shorter. The timing is slightly longer. So I put one here, one here. Now you can see the timing's really changed now. Not only is the time between the pulses longer, the actual output pulse is longer. As you can see, it's on for a longer time. So you can do all sorts of lighting. You can do it for whatever you want. You can do it for pistons and things. They're very useful for that. And I'm going to show you another little trick for this. which will really help you with things like water and everything else, is if you have this output and we go up one, get the redstone back, and we come along like so. So you want to have an output here, and we want it so that that goes to there. As that's working there, that's fine. And put this glass here, it still works. The redstone signal is not broken. So that's one way of doing opaque blocks. It should work again with pistons. It's just a double way of doing that basically. So it can pass through that. You can do the same with half slabs. So you can put half slab on top. As it's not a full block, the signal is not broken, because it's not basically saying there's something wrong with it. If you break another one here, it stops working, because it's now a full block. As you can see, the redstone is now broken. But one again, and it works fine. And I'll show you one more peculiarity with redstone. It's not really on logic gates, but if I found some glowstone on here, where glowstone is, there it is. This is, I don't know if it just works for this one, but it's a very peculiar thing. Now, as you can see here, there are 4 blocks on them, and if we go to a lamp, so let's go grab a lamp, put it there, and we also want this going in. You can see the output is on, even though there is a full block in the way for glowstone. They don't seem to be quite a full block, but they can then transmit redstone signals. So if I turn it off, it'll be off. So that's a really useful thing to do. I use it in my vertical wiring. It's a very expensive way of doing it, but it's very effective for small spaces. And that's the end of this. I've covered everything, haven't I? Yep, I covered this one. So yes, I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you learnt a lot. Now if you ever get stuck with ways of doing this, just look at the video again, download the map, and test them out. Next time we'll be looking at applications of these logic gates with some of the things we've done before. So we're starting to put them together now, so it's a little bit more advanced. And we're going to be looking at things like trapdoors, hidden doors, way of using the logic gates in pistons, and that sort of thing. And put them into timers, so such as like my wheat farm timers, the water timers, and that sort of thing. And we'll look at automation of farms for that. So it should be a really interesting episode. I hope you've enjoyed this one. And this is the end of this one, unfortunately. So I've been King Happy, and I'll see you again soon.